Hello. Welcome, everyone. Um, I am so glad that we are having this little event today. We are going to have a good time. We're going to learn things. We're going to understand things. And I hope you enjoy yourself. So I'm going to give just a minute for, people to tune in, see who's visiting us live today. But even if you're catching us on the replay, you can still enter your name, your contact information, and any questions that you're going to have, put them into the comment section because we are going to reach out to you and answer those questions, even if you're tuning in later. So I think I'm going to get started. And I do. We have one visitor. Hey, Cam. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right. Hang on. Hang on and get ready for a wonderful event. All right. Thanks for coming. And now let's get started. Welcome, all of you personal injury and medical malpractice attorneys. Welcome to our event. I am your host, but let me just get ready. I'm just checking again for anybody that's visiting live. Thank you for your patience. All right. Okay. Well, welcome again, everyone, to Can't Be Your Own IME Rebuttal Witness. Use a nurse observer. For all of you PI and med mal attorneys out there who may not be aware that nurse observers are an option, we're going to enlighten you today. Enlighten you on all the benefits for you and your injured clients. Today, we share with you all the advantages of hiring a registered nurse observer to attend your client's next independent medical examination. Today, you'll have a chance to ask questions because you'll have access to not one, but two experienced legal nurse consultants, me and my special guest, who will be out soon. You'll have an opportunity to find out how beneficial it is for an attorney to have a nurse attend an IME versus sending your paralegal, legal assistant, or heaven forbid, you going yourself. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am Lisa Wade, legal nurse consultant, owner of Wade Nurse Consultants. Check out our website, wadenurseconsultants.com, so you can learn more about the services that we provide. Services such as medical timeline creation, medical record reviews, certificates of merit, and the all important DME, IME observers. Besides being a legal nurse consultant, I'm going to tell you all about myself. I'm the creator of a wonderfully private group here on LinkedIn, the Attorney Medical Record Resource Group. I'm going to include this link in, well, there it is. In the comments when we are all done, I'm going to include that link, but that is the link to our wonderful group. And come check us out because this is a community that is full of personal injury and med mal attorneys like all of you. And it's a place where I provide insights into the obscure and sometimes confusing realm of medical terminology. So come visit us. All right, let me just tell you one more thing that I do. I am also a podcast host, and I have a podcast called Should You Take That Case? And that is where I interview one member of my LinkedIn attorney community, and we talk about and discuss cases that rely heavily on medical records. So check out past episodes of my podcast. That's our YouTube channel, Lisa Wade, LNC. And if you want to be a guest on my podcast, Go to the comments section, enter an AG for attorney guest inside the comments, and I'll reach out to you with all of the details to be interviewed on that show. Now, we are getting ready to get to the meat of this event. But before we do, let us scoot over to that comment section for a chance for you all to introduce yourselves. You can put your contact information into the comments for a chance to network, maybe a little referral action, or just plug in an A for an attorney, a P if you're a paralegal, an N if you're a nurse, or an emoji for how you are doing today and how excited you all are to be here today for this event. Just let us see you so we can say hello. Now, I want to thank everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And I want to let you know, get your questions ready, because later on we are going to have a little Q&A. When I give you the signal, you can drop all of your legal nurse and DME observer questions into the comments. And me and my special guest, we are going to answer all of those questions. Oh, let's see who's here. Oh, we have an N for nurse. There's Paige. Hi, Paige. Welcome. Welcome, Paige. Thanks for coming. All right. We're going to have a good time here. Now, let's talk about IMEs. Oh, wait a minute. We're going to talk. There's Dan. Dan is another nurse. Hi, Dan. All right. Thanks for coming. All right. Now, we're going to talk about IMEs, independent medical exams, versus DMEs, defense medical exams. And I have talked with cohorts and attorney clients of mine who have said that the term independent medical examination is a misnomer, that it doesn't really exist. And that is the term. The term IME was coined by the insurance industry and opposing counsel who represent insurance companies, who hire and pay a doctor to do an exam and a report regarding your injured client and their medical condition or status. My attorney clients often refer to these exams as defense medical examinations, or DMEs, because they view that it is a more accurate term. But in reality, they're the same thing, the same exam. Now, after that physician, that doctor completes a report and perhaps ends up testifying in court, sometimes there may be discrepancies that come up. Like, how long was that exam? Was it 5 minutes or 45 minutes? What instruments were used as part of this examination, or were any instruments or tools used at all? Or did that physician just eyeball those range of motion measurements that they included in their IME report? My attorney clients tell me that they do not personally attend independent medical examinations because that is a mistake. As plaintiff attorneys, they can't put themselves on the stand as rebuttal witnesses. They can't ask themselves the questions that may discredit an IME doctor's testimony. And that's where a nurse observer comes in. That's why I think personal injury attorneys have been hiring me and nurses from Wade Nurse Consultants to attend these IMEs, to be an observer and to be their eyes and ears, as well as support and comfort for their injured clients. And if you need us to be a rebuttal witness, we can do that too. Let's recap. Whether you call it an independent medical examination or a defense medical examination, a nurse observer can be an attorney's eyes and ears during that exam, and a rebuttal witness in court. Now, That's what I have to say for today, but we're going to talk more. Now it's time to bring out my special guest, Tim Kane, who's going to share more of the benefits of hiring nurse observers to attend IMEs. My fellow legal nurse consultant and cohort, Tim Kane. Here you go. Hey, Tim.
How you doing? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always a pleasure, Tim. You're a pleasure to chat with because you're full of wonderful insights.
I just want to add to a couple of things that you said. Probably the biggest benefit to a nurse observer, and this is goes along with in lieu of sending a paralegal or someone in their firm, we don't have a hat in the game. Okay, because it doesn't matter to us how that case turns out. So our report is really an independent report where, if a paralegal, legal assistant, somebody else, from the firm goes, they'll look at it as that person wants that case to do well, and their report might not be looked at as independent as ours. So that's just another thing I wanted to add to your excellent point.
Oh no, that is right. I know, and you've mentioned to me before. Sometimes those paralegals and legal assistants don't necessarily want to be there.
I've met numerous paralegals in the waiting room, and the look on their face, they're there because it's their job. I mean, and they like their job, but they're going because they're told to go. And I'll have pleasant conversations with them, and they'll say, please give me a card. And I would love it if my boss, I could stay in the office and do other work instead of being here. And you could be a better witness at this IME than I am. I'm almost quoting them. They'd be like, you would be a better witness than me.
Well, if they don't have the experience and the knowledge of what those medical examinations, those physical exams should look like, I guess they may be a little unsettled going there, not knowing the whole picture.
Exactly. A lot of these the legal assistants and paralegals, it's their first, second, third exam, and their desire is to really not be there. It's just because they have to. So that experience isn't there. Where nurses in my firm and as well as yours, we've been to hundreds, and
Mm-hmm.
I could almost tell you exactly how a doctor is going to be before I get there. But yeah, I mean, that's just, it goes with the territory.
And being a nurse and having the know-how of and experience performing physical exams, it's helpful to know, to understand what comes next, or that experience of having done it yourself, being able to view and observe someone else doing it. It's a a step up,
Right.
than the paralegals or legal assistants.
We can elaborate and give a lot more details. The lumbar flexion, the cervical flexion, the pain that was voiced on the pain scale, and the grimacing, and just just more detailed report for the attorney versus that. Nothing.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
paralegals, so don't get me wrong, but it's just more suitable for us.
I got you. I got you. Well, tell us a little bit. I know you also do observations in different states. Where's the main place that you focus that is has a deluge of IMEs?
I'm in Buffalo, but I have attorney clients from Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, and New York City. I've had some interest, and I've had a few clients in Florida, and we do a ton of different types of exams. The other thing attorneys may not realize is my attorney clients have benefited from my office observing vocational assessment exams and neuropsychological assessments. They're not given by doctors, but again, we're the independent person in the room for that attorney client.
Yeah, and it's good that they, like I said before in the beginning, eyes and ears inside of that event, and that attorney can know what is happening, without being worried that they're not getting a full picture.
Exactly. I've had the request a few times to sign affidavits just because an attorney looked at my report, got the report from the doc, and just didn't like a few things, and said, "Tim, I got your report." And this, a lot of times, these are years later. I could sort of remember, but they'll pull out my report, and if it's in my report, I stand by it. Then their office turns it into an affidavit. I sign it, and they'll tell me it often settles that.
That sounds good. And have you had to be a rebuttal witness in court for one of those exams?
I've been vetted. I've been told that it's numerous times that it's possibly going to happen. And then it always goes away, which I just think they don't want to. I think they're afraid of pulling in the nurse observer because we're just going to, defeat that credibility of that exam more than the defense would like us to.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that sounds like we are an important tool.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm just also trying to see, because I am mostly in Pennsylvania, and we've done DMEs in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, but I am looking to branch out, and I have recruited nurses in several other states that have, the ability to attend DMEs. And you mentioned Florida, and I did, reach out to several nurses in Florida that can do that, but also Texas. How is Texas for IME attendance?
It's funny you bring up Texas because I never saw a lot of activity in Texas until the last few years. I'm seeing more and more nurses themselves come to me to ask for my training course, but I'm also seeing needs in Texas being posted more frequently in the last year than the years prior. So Texas is a very good state in my opinion, and I don't know. I mean, and it's so large. I don't know how there's the nurse observers down there there's only a few. So,
yeah. Well, tell me what should your attorneys expect to have after this after you attend a DME for them and observe? Do they get a report, verbal or written, afterwards?
Oh, I give them a step by step. These exams are basically history and physicals. And also to my office, we'll always contact the client the day before and just, touch base, and it helps them not forget. And you should see, I'm just going to sidetrack for a second. If someone fails to appear, the no-show fee that these docs get, which makes IMEs, DMEs controversial, some docs get $1,000 to $1,200 just in no-show. If the person doesn't show, they pocket that and go home. But what they get out of me is a full written report of the history and physical. In the history, the questions that were asked, the answers. I always often ask my attorneys, how do you want me to proceed in areas of liability? And not to get too detailed, they'll either tell me keep it limited to mechanism of injury and tell me where I can intervene, or they'll say I'll prep my client well in advance and don't worry about it. But then the physical part, I'll give them how much pain they had, how much pain they rated, all the examination process, the lumbar flexions, the cervical, everything, straight leg raises. Those are huge in lumbar cases, because negative straight leg raises, that I can guarantee you the doc's going to say that it's not a clinical indication. And if I'm there to say that straight leg raise, from my observation, I don't have the same education as doc, but I could watch, it was positive. And if he decides to say something different, there's a discrepancy there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and nurse observers are good for managing discrepancies. Mm-hmm. I like that, because that IME physician's report comes in, and after you've done that observation, you can see, this what's equal and what's a discrepancy right in there from the nurse's observer's report and that IME physician's report side by side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's handy. So yes, I do like a written report after attending and observing an IME, DME. We do have one more person that has a question. Oh, by the way, everybody, get your questions ready and start putting them into the comments section. And we're going to do a little Q&A while we're here, if that's okay with you, Tim.
Wonderful. Love it.
All right. We were talking about good places, good states for IMEs, and Cam wants to know, what about Ohio?
I have a couple nurses that took my DME training course in Ohio that have done very well. So my answer to that is Ohio is a good state. One state that was a bad state that is now a good state, and a nurse in Minnesota mailed me legislation because I had legislation in Minnesota that said observers were not allowed. Minnesota has changed their tune. So Minnesota attorneys, if you want a nurse observer, I can find you one. You could reach out to either one of us. And if you're a nurse in Minnesota and think about, wanting to attend IMEs and DMEs, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help.
All right. Excellent. That sounds like a plan. All right. Oh, we have another question. Oh, okay. Okay. Paige wants to know, can you see, do you charge a different fee for DME or do you use your hourly rate?
I kind of use a combination of both. A lot of my IME DMEs, they usually run with under an hour, and I'll flat rate that. But as soon as they go over 60 minutes, I'll put my hourly rate in.
Yeah. Because you mentioned the behavioral health exams. Oh boy, they can go on and on.
The neuropsych exams, they can go 6 to 8 hours at 2 and 3 days at a time. And I've had attorneys send me out of town for those, and those are quite interesting. And the attorney client, they love to report that they had a person in there. So,
oh boy, and can you imagine if some poor paralegal or legal assistant had to go to that exam?
Or if the client's by themselves, they're at the mercy behind the door with that person alone, and they have nobody. There's no one there to be on their side if it's needed.
Yeah, and it's nice. Like I do, like you do. I call them ahead of time, the day before, sometimes a week before, and the day before, to remind them I'm meeting you there and what time it'll be. So they don't have to feel alone, and they can feel like they have somebody, like you mentioned, in their corner.
And I also feel, and this is just not, clients tell me that they appreciate that their attorney sends a nurse with them. They feel it improves their confidence, which makes them a better client in that exam, knowing that their attorney sent a nurse with them. It puts them a little more at ease.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Paige has one more question. These questions are coming hard and fast. Okay. Are you just an observer, or can you ask questions of the patient or physician?
My primary job is to observe, support, and report is everything I'll say. I cannot ask questions, but I do have some attorney clients that want me to intervene if certain situations happen. Sometimes these docs can get a little overbearing, let's just put it that way. And I will just kind of say, can we move on to the next question, please, and keep it medical related? For this program, that's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that sounds like you can be an advocate for that on a limited basis, an advocate for that injured client, and that can help put them at ease. And perhaps their attorney instructed them not to give more than the answer to the medical questions. So, it's good to have somebody there to help keep them away from things that they shouldn't be talking about.
And I find a lot of docs, not a lot, but I've found IME docs that don't appreciate me there. I get that vibe right away. So I always take that as a compliment, because it's like, well, what are you so concerned about, now that there's a medical observer in the room? And I think another point of having a nurse observer is it makes the exam fair, and it gives a higher integrity for everybody involved.
Yeah, I like that. It keeps everybody on the same level, on the same page of what's supposed to be happening. So there's nothing wrong with that. No. Nothing wrong with staying on the same page. All right. And those were excellent questions. Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Dan. It's good to have you here. And if you have any more questions, start filling them in. But while they're getting more questions together, Tim, uh, I told the people how to reach me, Wade Nurse Consultants, at wadenursconsultants.com, right there, right? But tell the people how to reach you if they have a DME, especially in New York, that you'd like to help them with.
You can reach me. My website is medicallegalconnection.com, or my email is timkane@medicallegalconnection.com. I'm
Oh,
primarily in New York, but I have full confidence that anybody in all the 50 states attorney comes to me and wants me to find them a nurse, I can do that. I have a ton of avenues to send them a well-trained DME nurse pretty much anywhere in the country.
all right, excellent, excellent. So I'm glad. So we've got your contact information. Everybody knows how to reach me. There I am, Lisa at wadenursconsultants.com. That's my email. Feel free to, if you have a DME in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, New Jersey too. But Tim said you've had a slow up in New Jersey.
I'm hearing things that New Jersey is starting to put. I could be wrong on this. A good source told me that New Jersey is contemplating not allowing observers anymore through legislation and the court system. That's what a highly respected LNC that I know informed me of that.
All
I could be
right.
wrong. Yes.
Well, if there are any New Jersey adjacent or New Jersey attorneys listening in or catching on the replay, please fill in the comments and let us know. Is that accurate? Is New Jersey going up for IMEs or down for IMEs?
Right.
Let us know uh, uh, the whole tale. We'd appreciate it. All right. Well, I think questions have wind down, Tim.
Sure.
I think we've given some good information. You have about the benefits of using a nurse observer versus a paralegal or a legal assistant, or heaven forbid, an attorney attending and observing these DMEs and IMEs. So I'm so glad that you've shared with us today. Anything else on your mind to include?
No, I think we've covered most of it. It's a pleasure business to have to help out these attorneys in their litigation, and then I look forward to the future.
All right, me too. Well, thank you again, Tim, for
My
coming with
pleasure.
us. Everyone knows how to reach you. They know
Mhm.
how to reach me. If you have any questions afterwards, catching us on the replay, including in the comments. But just another little recap. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm checking to see. Oh, guess what? We do have one more question. We were winding up too soon, Tim.
Oh, that's
All
right.
right. Uh, oh, wait a second. Cam says, do you ever get pushback from an attorney when asking if you can take the place of their paralegal to
I
attend
ha-
this event? I think, yeah.
I have in the past, and my response to that, and I've kind of covered this already, is I will tell that attorney that your paralegal is not independent. I am independent, and I can give you the contents of the exam from an experienced medical observer versus your paralegal.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
like that.
always that. Yes.
That's good. I will keep that in mind. I haven't had any pushback yet, but
I've had that question at conferences, though I will send my paralegal, and that's my canned response, and then they don't
oh,
say anything.
I got you. All right. All right then. So again, I think we're going to try and wind up again.
Very good.
What are there any more questions out there? I'm gonna give you a chance. 10, 9, 8. All right. And now if you want to catch us again and reach us, here's Tim, where you can reach Tim Kane at medicallegalconnection.com. And here is me, Lisa at wadenursconsultants.com. And if you're in Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, call us. Call me, call Tim, and we will get a nurse observer to attend your IME/DME. All right. And just a reminder, another recap, whether you call it an independent medical examination or a defense medical examination, a nurse observer can be an attorney's eyes and ears during that exam and a rebuttal witness in court. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it. Thank you, Tim.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All righty. See you next time.